Thanks for tuning in at Brackies.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 11 in Make a Game, a cool series on making a video game in Unity. So today we're going to be doing something really awesome. It's something that some people hate and some people enjoy the most about game making, and it's adding audio to our game. So we're going to add a bunch of different sounds and a musical track. And what is really difficult when adding audio is making it sound not repetitive. So I'm going to show you some cool tips and tricks on how to do that. And also in the 2D assets pack available at brackies.com, there's now an audio section. And so if we go in here, I've gathered some different sounds that we can use. There's a coin pickup sound, a game over one I made myself, some relaxed music, and then 3 wooden hits when our ball hits the ground. So if we will just take a quick listen here, the coin pickup. Oops, I need to set repeat off here or we're gonna get mad. So there's the coin pickup sound if you heard it enough. And the game over one.
Game over.
Pretty simple. The relaxed music, we had that ago. And now some very simple wooden hits. So and they are in different strength and pitch up a bit and yeah. So now that we have these different sounds, also a great way to a great place to get some free sounds is freesound.org. If you go in here and search for something, let's say relaxed music, and hit search here, then make sure to check the Creative Commons 0 on the right hand side, and if you do that, you are free to use the sound for whatever purpose you want to. So you can also use it commercially. So just make sure to press Creative Commons 0, and there's a lot of different sounds. Awesome. So let's get started. As always, I've opened up Unity, and just before we go ahead and implement the sounds, I've noticed that whenever our ball dies, the score doesn't reset. So to quickly fix this, let's just go under the Game Master object, the GM object, and then under the Game Master script. In here, if we double click that to open it up in Mono Develop, we will just make a quick change that will reset the score whenever the scene is loaded. So up here, we're just going to make a function start. And inside of this, we are going to write current score equals 0. So we will just reset it. And now when we hit play and fall down, the score will reset. This will also reset the score if you changed levels. So to get some more control over that, we're going to write a separate function in the future. Cool. So now let's finally go ahead and implement the audio. I feel like I always just do something completely different than what I tell you the first like 3 minutes of the video. But now we're here. So let's start with the coin. Let's start with the coin pickups sound. So let's find our coin here, and let's go ahead and import the audio. So inside of our 2D assets pack, let's just import the entire folder, drag it in there. And all of the different audio clips will import. The relaxed music one will take a bit of time. I have compressed the file to make it a bit smaller, but it is still a rather long music file, so it is to be expected. So under the audio now, we can go ahead and select our coin pickup. And we want this to be a, well, it's completely up to you. Actually, I think the coin pickup sound should not be 3D, so let's just disable that. And basically what it means is that then it will just two-dimensionally play, other than playing where it factorizes how far you are from the object and at what speed you're traveling and all that advanced audio stuff. So let's just disable 3D audio and hit apply. Cool. So now under our coin object, we can go ahead and hit add component and then audio. And we can go ahead and actually, okay, so this is where it gets a bit complicated because there are multiple ways of handling this. The first of which is to attach the audio on the coin itself and then just delay the destruction of the coin till the audio has finished playing. And then you can just disable the mesh renderer at start so you won't see it. But that's a little too complicated, I think. The other way is to spawn in an object that will have the audio sit on it. And the great thing about this method is we are already spawning in an object. Remember when we hit play and roll over our coin, you can see the particles. And they destroy after a certain amount of seconds. So why not just put an audio onto the particle system and make it play instantly. So let's find the particles, the coin effect here. Let's go down, hit add component, audio, and then audio source. And under the audio clip, we can now select the coin pickup. And then we just simply remember to check play on awake. And let's maybe just take down the volume a bit here. So let's try and see how this sounds. And it sounds just perfect. I'm going to bring the volume down just a tad more because it is really high pitch, the sound, and it could quickly get annoying. So that's perfect. And what we can do also is we can make a script to change the pitch so that it will vary. But I'm going to show you how to do that with some of the other effects. So you can do that on your own on the coin here if you want to. We're just going to keep the video short. And now that I've said that, I just know that this is going to be like half an hour. But okay, we'll try. So under the audio, we also have the game over and the 3 wooden heads. Let's start out with the game over. And I'm going to show you something cool you can do. So under our... Let's see, that's the game master script. Where is it? We handle the, it's under the ball health there. So double click ball health. And we can see that if we get below this transform.position, we just restart the level. But basically we want to say game over first because game over sounds awesome. So let's create a separate function because we want to delay the sound or delay the loading of the level till the sound has stopped playing. And whenever you do that, you need to be outside of the update function because you can't delay the update function. It needs to run every frame. So we're going to make a separate function called restart. And let's be more specific, restart level, let's call it that. And we don't need any parameters, but let's open up some brackets. And inside of this, we're just going to write audio.play like that. And then we're going to do, and here you can input a string, but we're just going to leave it empty and it will play the first audio clip attached. And then we're going to do another thing, and that's we're going to wait. So we're going to do a yield, wait 4 seconds like this. And inside of here, you can just write a number of seconds, or you can do audio.length, audio clip, I think that is. Pretty sure it's audio clip dot length. No. Let's see here. It's one of these. I can't remember exactly which one. Audio clip, audio importer. I'm pretty sure that is a length in here. This is weird. Length? Maybe they've removed it. I'll just check up on that. So just give me a second, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So the solution was pretty obvious. Instead of audio clip, you go audio.clip.length. So like that. So it will simply wait the length of the audio clip. And then we can do the loading. So application.load level. Load level. And then the level 1. And close it off. So instead of loading the level up here, we are simply going to delete that and then say restart level So it will call that function instead. And now when we hit save, things should be working. But we of course need to attach some audio to our ball. So let's just go in here and hit add component, audio source, and then let's find the audio. Game over. Let's not make it a 3D sound. Let's also make this 2D. Then find our ball again and select the audio clip. Game over. Oops. So game over. And let's not set it to play awake this time, because we set it to play through a script, and everything else should be just fine. So now when we hit play, roll over our ball and fall down. Oh, something is wrong here. So I don't know. It sounds like it waits with playing the clip until it starts loading the scene. So that's weird. Let's just see.
Game over.
There's no delay there. So let me just... Wow, there's going to be a lot of pausing in this video. I'll just quickly pause the video again and be back. Okay, so I figured out what it is once again. So basically, this line right here says that if we get below a certain position, it will call the restart level function. And it does so, but it does so every frame that we are in, that we are over this value. So this audio.play gets called every single frame. And so when it does that, it doesn't really have time to play. It just starts over and starts over and starts over. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that this is only played once. So what we can do is up here, we can make a Boolean. So we can do is restarting here. And we can make this false by default. And then we can do here, we can say if is restarting is equal to false. Then we want to go ahead and call the function like this. And then in here, we simply says is restarting equals true. And then when we have loaded the level, and it will probably do this automatically, but you can go ahead and say is restarting equals false. But I'm pretty sure it will do that on its own. And we can make this a private variable, just so it won't get in our way in the inspector. So now when we hit play, we will finally see this working.
Game over.
And it restarts. Beautiful. And when we do it again,
game over.
Great, so a really evil voice saying game over. Yeah, so now let's take care of the wooden hits, and then at final, we'll do the music. So the point with the hits here is that right now when you jump, it says nothing, and when you land, it says nothing. So I thought I wanted to put some sounds in here. Whether you both want it on the jumping and on the landing is up to you. But let's go ahead and have a look at our ball control script. So what we can do is we can, so what we do is we just double click on our ball control here, and let's simply edit this one. So cool. So basically we have three different sounds. We have the hit 1, the hit 2, and the hit 3. 3, excuse me. And the reason why we have 3 is because it gets really repetitive if you play the same sound over and over. When it's something that needs to play as much as every time you jump and every time you land, you don't want the same sound playing. So here's what you do. So first off, we find the place where we collide. So that's the on collision stay. And again, we have a problem here because the on collision stay gets called every time we are on the ground. So again, we need to make a Boolean that will make sure we only play the audio once. So let's go here and say play once, we'll just call it that, equals true. Just like that. And then in the update function, we say here when we collide, we say if play once is equal to true, we will play the sound. So in here we can do a debug.log just to quickly test this out. So test, and so it will play, and then we want it to disable. So we want to play once equals false. But we also need to set this to true again, so we will do that every time we jump. So in here in our jump function, we'll do play once equals true. And now we should see our code working. We'll check our console. First off, we see one test. We see another as soon as we jump. Okay, so we can see there's a problem here. It registers the on collision stay in here, and that's not really something we want. So what we can do is, if we try and move it down past the rigid body, that might be enough. We might have to put in a little bit of a delay there just to get it off the ground. Let's see if we can do that. Play. Now we need to put in a delay. So again, the easiest way to fix this is just to do a separate function called play once true. And in here, and this is not really good code, but I just wanted to get it out of the way because whenever it comes to audio, it's a quite loose concept. And if you just make it work, it works basically. So, and that's what we're going to do now, is we are going to make it work. So let's copy that. Put it down under the play once function. And right before that, we simply do a wait 4 seconds and then just something like 0.1. And now when we hit play, we will see that we jump into the air and nothing appears. Great, so everything is just working like it should. Let's see. Okay, we need to call the function, of course. So play once true equals no, just call it here. The reason why I'm showing you all of this these mistakes is because I could have easily done this a million times before, or just practiced it and have all of the code written out before. But a lot of people have told me not to do that because then you don't get to be a part of the problem solving process, so that once you get to write your own scripts, you don't know how to solve errors. So that's the whole point of me not having all of this planned out. So that's a really good excuse for being unprofessional. Let's move on. So now when we go in here and hit play, we will see, hopefully, we will see that the game has frozen. Okay, so Unity is acting weird. I can't move, so let me just quickly restart Unity. It does that from time to time. So let's play here. And now when we hit jump, it will say test again. So we need to delay this a little bit more. Let's do 0. We can do 0.4. Let's try this out. No, it still just calls it. Okay, so that's really weird. Is there something wrong with the on collision stay? Let's just try to debug this. Debug.log test 2. See when it gets called, and now we're gonna see a lot of them, so I'm just gonna collapse them here. No, this is working. Then there's something wrong with our code. So if play once is equal to true, debug.log test and set play once equal to false, then we down here, whenever we jump, we get the play once and we enable it to true. I don't see what's wrong with this. We can try and increase the delay just a bit more. Oh, okay, I see what's wrong now. So yeah, in the wait 4 seconds statement, we need to do yield wait 4 seconds, and it doesn't even throw an error. So, okay, now things should be finally working, and we don't need to be delayed by that much. Yes, and now it will. Great, so now it's working. So if I uncollapse this and just get rid of this stupid test function, remove the debug.log, and let's change this to 0.2 instead. And now when we hit play, and this is amazing, it works. Great. Okay, cool. So, yeah. What we can do now is we are gonna play sounds. But the problem with Unity here is that we only want to have one source on each object. And if we look at the ball right now, there's already a source and there's only room for one audio clip. So what you do is, instead of having multiple audio sources, you simply change out the audio clip and then play it. So we need some variables for the audio clips, and we need a system to change them out. So what we're going to do is, first off, in our game master script, our ball health script here, is we want to take this approach. Because if we change out the audio in the ball control and then die, it will just play the hit wood sound for now. And that's not really something we want. So let's just change it back again to the game over sound. So we're going to do var game over sound, and we're going to make it of type audio clip, and that's all we need. So down here where it says is restarting equals true, right below that, or right below above the audio.play, we want to do audio.clip equals audio equals game over sound. Perfect. So now it will set the clip to the game over sound. And we need the game over sound not to be empty, so let's just find it here under game over. Cool, so that was basically it for that script, and that's what we need to do every time we need to have multiple sounds on one object. So in our ball control, if we go in here and instead of our debug.log statement, we want to play different sounds. So let's just make some variables for the different sounds. So let's first off make play one private, and then we are gonna do hit one of type audio clip, hit 2 of type audio clip, and hit 3 of type audio clip. Audio clip. Okay, great. So now that the spelling is in place, we can go down under the on collision state, remove the debug.log, and in here we want to make it random which of these it is gonna play. So we're just gonna first off do the audio.play so that we have it there. Oops. And close it off, and right above that now we are gonna do a random.range. So we are gonna say var, make a new variable, call this the hit, and make it equal to random.range. And we're gonna go from 0 to 4, because I'm pretty sure you need to have one more than what you want. So 0 to 4, and yeah, so close that off. And then in here we're gonna say if, and this is where you could make a switch statement, but we're gonna get into them later. So for now I'm just gonna do a bunch of if statements. So if the hit is equal to 1, I'm pretty sure this is gonna return 0 to 3 actually. So if the hit is equal to 0, then we want to do audio.clip equals hit 1, else if the hit is equal to 1, audio dot clip equals hit 2, and then the last one just else. Oops. Else audio dot clip equals hit 3. Cool, and then it's gonna play the audio. So now when we save this out and head back into Unity, we of course get an error. So let's see random dot, yeah, we meant random dot range, like that. Cool. So now when we hit play, we should see it changing whenever we hit something. So let's see. And it doesn't change. Well, yeah, it does, but it changes to nothing. Cool. So we just need to apply the different hits. So first off, hit 1, hit 2, and hit 3. Awesome. And let's jump. Hit 3. Hit 3. Hit 3. We are getting a lot of hit 3s here. There's a hit 1. And hit 3. And if it can get hit 3 and hit 1, it should also be able to get a hit 2. So yeah, that was the hit 2. So it's completely random which of these it chooses. Cool. So now that we have that in place, we can simply go ahead and change the pitch a bit, because the cool thing, and this is a pretty cool tip, is that Unity can also change the pitch of a clip. So what we can do is, if we want it to sound a little bit random, we can pitch it up just a tad or pitch it down randomly. So we can do audio.pitch, and then we can do a random range equals random.range. And if we take a look at the pitch property here, it goes from 1 to 3 or negative 3. So the default is 1. And it goes to 3 and negative 3. And we don't want it to be that much at all. But we do want it to be something like 0.9, 1.1. Just subtle pitch changes, and it's going to make it sound pretty cool. And yeah, so, and then in the ball health script, if you don't want this to be affected by pitch, again, what you do is you simply say audio.pitch equals 1. So that will just stay the same. Awesome. So now when we jump, we can hear different hit sounds playing at different pitch. But you might notice that the sound sounds pretty far away. And the reason for this is that our wooden hits are still 3D sounds. And we are not oriented through our ball. Sounds doesn't get played back through our ball, but instead through our camera. And if you want this or not is completely up to you. Right now our audio listener sits on the camera. So everything that happens over here sounds pretty far away. So what I would like to do is just try out and remove the audio listener from the camera, and instead select the ball, hit add component, audio, and then audio listener. So that now everything we hear will be played back from the ball's perspective. And now we can hear the sound much more clear, and it will still be affected by speed and other variables. So that's pretty cool. And now everything we have set up in our scene, when we have stuff like fire or something, we will hear it from our ball's perspective. Awesome. At last, man, this video is already 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and do the music. So is anyone even watching at this point? If you're watching at this point, I guess you are either some kind of hardcore fan or just really, really into Unity. So either way, I love you, and let's continue. So under our audio, we want to select the relaxed music, and we want to disable 3D sound and hit apply. So this is just going to load all over again, and it takes a little while. This is the largest file in our scene, and audio files can get really big, so watch out with those long clips. At least compress them before use. And now in our GM object, let's handle it through the game master. Let's just hit add component, and then audio source. Under the audio clip, we are just going to change this to relaxed music, and just hit play on awake, and also loop, because I've made this loop pretty nicely. Let's turn down the volume a bit, and now hit play. We can hear some relaxing music playing, and you can play around with the volume to make it fit the rest of the sounds. But that was basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.